Am I the a-hole for lashing out at my husband for suggesting I stop buying formula instead of canceling his streaming services to save money? I'm female 32, the breadwinner, and have a toddler and a 9-month-old baby. Their needs are never ending, and everything I buy is expensive. My husband, male 37, is unemployed, but uses part of my salary for subscription/paid streaming services, which cost about $80+ a month for Hulu, Premium, Netflix, HBO, Amazon, ESPN Plus, and more. I keep finding myself coming up short with money. I kept neglecting buying hygiene products and have only one pair of shoes that look decent. I can't remember the last time I bought anything nice for myself. And keep feeling guilty just thinking of going shopping for stuff that is necessary. I sat him down for discussion and told him his subscriptions are taking money. I can't keep paying for them when I have other responsibilities. I asked him to choose one channel and he threw a fit, calling me ridiculous to think streaming services are the reason I'm always short on money, and blamed it on the expensive and unnecessary makeup. He calls it fake-up. I keep wasting money on. I got angry and said he needed to respect that makeup is part of my personality and won't quit buying and wearing it. He said that I was trying to financially control him since I got offended when he pointed out that I waste money in makeup, and explained that he cannot and will not be bought with money no matter how desperate he is. I said okay, then let me cancel all streaming services and keep one till he can pay for them once he finds a job. But he refused, and said since he is the stay-at-home parent, then those streaming services are a right and not a privilege, and I should keep paying for them without complaining since he's staying with our sons all day, and it's taxing just like my job. Final straw was when he suggested I stop buying formula and go back to breastfeeding since that is unnecessary and expensive. I was floored and was seething and lashed out at him, asking him if he literally thought canceling formula is better than his precious subscriptions. Also, I work. I have no time to breastfeed. He just said he doesn't know what it is anymore and that I was pushing him, but I told him he no longer has a choice, and I'll just stop paying for all his channels/subscriptions altogether, which had him reply that I was being unfair and unappreciative of his efforts. He stormed off after calling me controlling and kept cold-shouldering me. Am I the a-hole? Edit. No, he left his previous job due to issues with his employer. He struggled with finding a job in his field and refused to work in other related fields, saying his dignity won't let him since he worked hard for his degree. My makeup gets replaced every few months. It's normally cost $50+, but that's every few months, not every month. I stopped breastfeeding for health issues and now work, but he never stopped criticizing my decision to use formula, calling it a waste of money when I could push past the pain and provide our son with real benefits. I still do the majority of work around the apartment. What efforts? He's contributing nothing financially. You are not a a-hole, and you can spend your hard-earned dollars however you like. I'm not sure since I still do the cooking/cleaning/washing after I get home, but he says that's my part of chores, so I shouldn't complain. Sounds like he's not even a stay-at-home parent then, just an over-glorified babysitter for the kids. As a former live-in babysitter, I did all the day cleaning, taking care of a baby, a toddler and a preteen, cleaned up after 2 puppies, 5 days a week, until either my brother-in-law, older half-sister, got home, and my cousin or her mom picked up my nephew-cousin. This is an insult to babysitters. Was a live-in nanny too. Did all of that and had loads of free time because I approached it like a job, not like something that was getting in the way of my streaming. Opie's husband is a mooch. Opie needs to go on a chore strike and stop paying for all but one of his subscriptions. Hell, only paying $100 for 3 years of VPN would get him a lot of that stuff for free if he knew what services to use. Chore strike? Most people like this never change. At most, they might pretend to for a few days or weeks, then they're back at it. They have core character flaws, and you need to really want to change them, and even then it's hella hard. More so when the flaws involve selfishness, entitlement, and a heaping dose of misogyny. Opie needs to quietly and quickly move her money into new accounts in her name only, assuming they have any joint ones. Cancel any joint credit cards, and get her payment information removed from his streaming accounts. Then she needs to kick his sorry butt to the curb. Info, why can't he get a job again? I don't see how you're financially controlling him if it's his choice to be unemployed. Edit, not today, Hall, in case it wasn't clear. He's refusing to work any other job outside of his profession, and that is hard to find here. So I'd rather watch you struggle and make entirely unhelpful suggestions about the budget instead of getting any job to help support his family? Is his dignity more important to him than his children? He needs a lesson to humility ASAP. Next story. Am I the a-hole for going off on my sister-in-law after she insisted on taking my husband with her as her +1 to her friend's wedding? We lost my brother-in-law, 34, my brother's twin brother, 2 years ago in a serious car accident. He was a good person with a good heart, and losing him was devastating, especially on my sister-in-law, his wife. We all offered different types of help to my sister-in-law, and my husband has been the most supportive in the family by stepping up and helping out with transportation, childcare, money, food, doctor appointments, kids' matters at school, etc. My sister-in-law has been vocal about her needs lately, and I noticed she's been asking my husband to do too many things for her that she, in my opinion, can do herself, like fixing the door handle or getting the food for the dog. My in-laws noticed how she constantly keeps calling his number, yet ignore all of us and turn down any offers to help her weather the house or kids. It was irritating, not gonna lie. I told my husband that he kept saying he wants to help out his brother's family and finds himself guilty when he ignores her phone calls, though he's very busy with our kids and work. This biggest fight was days ago when I was at my in-laws and my sister-in-law talked about receiving an invite to her friend's wedding, but was required to bring a +1. She flat out told me to tell my husband to be available on X day to go with her to the wedding as her +1. We were all shocked. I looked at her and asked if she was serious. She ranted about not finding anyone close available, and also not feeling comfortable asking her husband's friends to accompany her. I said sorry, but my husband was busy. The next thing she did was ignore me and pull her phone out to call him. I stopped her and told her very firmly and loudly that she needed to knock it off because my husband isn't hers, and she needed to just stop acting like it. She looked at me shocked and said a lot of stuff I can't remember, but accused me of not wanting her husband's brother, who's her kid's uncle, to help her out. It also accused me of discouraging him from spending time with the family and his nephews. She went on calling me petty for feeling jealous and resentment towards a struggling widow, and said she needed to go to the wedding to have fun after 2 years of being depressed and unable to go out. I argued with her, then left. My mother-in-law called saying she understood my frustration and agreed sister-in-law had no right, but I also had no right to say what I said, and basically rubbing the fact unlike her I still have my husband with me in her face. She wanted me to apologize, but I refused and explained how my sister-in-law was behaving all those months. But everyone keeps saying I should be graceful and sympathetic as my sister-in-law is trying to adapt to her new normal. My husband said I should talk to her from one woman to another. Not a home. Your husband can be sympathetic to his brother's family, but not at the expense of his own family. And honestly, he might be doing more harm than good by doing everything for her. Getting dog food? No doubt, life is hard for her. But it's been 2 years, and at some point, she'll need to figure out how to live for herself and her children. Also, no weddings require a +1. If she'll only call Opie's husband and ignores the rest of the family, then he needs to be delegating some of these chores to others. I'm side-eyeing him a bit in this too. I can get how overpowering that guilt might be. His brother is gone and left a widow and children. It's very normal if Opie's husband feels like he needs to step up at first, and the time frame just kept getting longer. It can feel like an a-hole move to prioritize your own needs when someone close to you is in such a bad predicament. I'm going to guess that your husband and his brother look alike, and so she's creating an attachment to him based on her loss. That really sucks. But you are totally within your rights to put your foot down to her demands. Plus, why is she required to have a guest at the wedding? Is that a thing? Definitely this. My ex-boyfriend had an identical twin brother. When my ex broke up with me, I was devastated, and then went on to sleep with this identical twin brother because I thought it would fix my heartbreak. It didn't, and in hindsight, I am disgusted by myself and what I did. But I definitely recognize the sister-in-law's behavior. Opie not stay home. She is using her husband as her de facto husband. The nerve of her telling you to tell your husband to be ready to accompany her to a wedding. Nah, chick, not going to happen. And I have never ever seen a wedding invite that requires you to bring a +1. It's always optional. The friend is tone deaf sending her widowed friend an invite with a +1 when they apparently know she isn't seeing anyone. Or does the whole damn world think your husband is hers now? This is not healthy. Helping is one thing, but this is something else entirely. Next time she calls your husband to fix a door handle, the appropriate response is, I'm not available. The handyman we use is John Acme. I'll text you his info. Bye. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not changing my baby's name? My husband and I are expecting our first baby and we're due in just a few weeks. When we first announced our pregnancy to our family after the first trimester, 20+ weeks ago, We also announced our baby's gender and his name. My sister and her husband has been trying to conceive their third kid for the last 5-ish years. However, due to some complications in her previous pregnancy, they have had to do several rounds of IVF. Turns out, she found out she was pregnant 5 weeks after me and announced her pregnancy a little over a month after us. She found out she is also expecting a baby boy, and we were both excited about the idea of our kids growing up to be best friends. Everything was going pretty great until a few weeks ago. My mom decided to come to visit me to help me get the nursery ready. It mentioned that my sister had really liked the name my husband and I picked for our baby, and that she had decided to take it. My mom then asked me what my husband and I would change our baby's name to, since it would be too confusing to have 2 grandkids with the same name. I told my mom that we were not changing the name of our baby, since our hearts were set on it, and we wouldn't have announced it if we weren't sure. I then got a call from my sister claiming that since this was their miracle baby, she would get first dibs on whatever name they wanted. I told her that she can name her baby whatever she wants, but that we're not changing our minds about our baby's name. Am I the a-hole for not being willing to change my baby's name? Not the a-hole. Your sister is acting like the world revolves around her. I bet she's going to throw a meltdown if your kid is cuter. If you have a baby shower, she will be mad because how dare you have a baby shower and take all the attention off her and her miracle baby. Or you'll be gifted some items she really wanted at your own baby shower, and she will take it from you as she has dibs. Best to go low contact if talking to her doesn't work. This is so on point. We had our baby shower a couple of weeks ago, and my sister was trying to talk my mom out of throwing me a shower because this is not her first grandchild. So basically, since my sister already gave my mom 2 grandchildren, I'm not allowed to celebrate my first child. My mom didn't listen, and the shower was awesome, but my sister complained the entire time. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. As painful as it may be to go low contact, you may need to protect your baby boy. Your sister is displaying such pettiness. She may pin her son against your son to prove her son is better than yours. Also, baby showers help new moms with the gifts for the baby. So she was willing to take away items for her nephew, ruin your experience as a first-time mom, create drama, and didn't want to celebrate your son's birth. Does your sister get another baby shower? With her logic, she shouldn't. My uncle's ex did this with me and my cousin. We're not quite a year apart. He and I are great now, but back then, everything was a fight she started. She pits us against each other repeatedly, when we so very clearly wanted to be friends. I'm glad it ended okay for y'all. I'm afraid it'll turn the other boy into bullying Opie's kid. Go on, take the toy. You were the miracle baby. You announced the pregnancy and the baby name. 5 weeks later, your sister got pregnant through IVF and decided to try to name her baby the same thing. That's not only creepy, but envious. You can't just take someone else's baby name like that. She's free to name her child the same thing, but there will be consequences to that, I'm sure. In the form of, isn't your sister's kid named the same? And didn't that kid come out first? People can do the math here. They're not stupid. Just stand your ground on the name, tell her she's free to name her child whatever she wishes. The situation will resolve itself. Once the OP has the baby, it officially names him the chosen name. I predict the sister will not use it. She's way too selfish to have her baby boy be number 2 at anything, especially her sister's son. I do unfortunately see years of petty comparisons. It's sad that OP's sister can't be happy for both of them. Last story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to wake up early to make my boyfriend's kids breakfast? I, 26 female, have recently moved in with my boyfriend, 37 male. He's the breadwinner while I'm currently unemployed, but in the process of looking for a job. He has 2 school-age kids, and they're the best. We almost don't argue at all except lately where he's been expecting me to wake up early every day to get the kids ready for school and make them breakfast. The complicated ones, since the kids are super picky eaters. I was confused since he used to handle this part. I ask why. What changed now? And whether he actually believes in gender stereotypes, because it's ridiculous to expect me to prepare complicated breakfast every day because I'm a woman. He said I was wrong with my assumption, but figured since I'm unemployed, then this is the least I could to help him out. It'd make the kids breakfast and get them ready for school while he focuses on work and earn a living since he's the breadwinner. I corrected him saying I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I'm just temporarily out of job and plan to find one. I asked what he's going to do if I start working. Is he going to expect me to get the kids ready and make them breakfast still? He said since I'm not working right now, then needed to pick up the slack. Then we'll talk once I find a job and start working. He advised me to regulate my sleep schedule and stop staying up all night to be able to wake up early in the morning, which was offensive of him to say because it came off as controlling. But I told him I refused to do what he's telling me, and he ended up calling me lazy and irresponsible. I also claimed I'm an opportunist, constantly making excuses to get out of doing chores even though I cook and clean. I think he wants me to play stay-at-home mom, although I said I'm not when the kids are mainly his responsibility as a parent. Am I the a-hole, or is he? Added to add, I do help with the kids from cleaning to cooking for them and also teaching them in the kitchen. However, the morning routine has always been handled by their father. In the past, he wouldn't even let me intervene in their homework. And yes, I did all that while also working a job. Now he's calling me lazy regularly in front of his family. You can only imagine how awful that makes me feel, and like I'm not doing enough. Info, I'm wondering about rent/mortgage/utilities. OP, how much do you currently contribute financially to the household? If not that much, I feel like making a non-financial contribution seems reasonable. If you don't like making breakfast, what other offers have you made? Answer, $0. I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, I see what he's saying too. You live in his house. He's working all the time right now and you're not. I don't see what the big deal is with making his kids some breakfast. What do you do all day/night? If they're super picky, then tell him to buy foods that they like to make it easier on you. You're the a-hole. Also, I'm not judging on his delivery because something is telling me you're just saying it how you like. This. I have to agree that you guys have a communication problem, but he does have a point. Yeah, definitely a communication problem, but like, come on. I'm not gonna have someone move into my house and be unemployed doing nothing all day while I'm working. Plus, dating a man with kids? Do you expect to just never have to be part of the kids' lives and help out with them?